Okay, hello and welcome back. A little bit of a problem this week with the wiper spindle, wiper motor, and this is on a Defender Puma. You have to take the dashboard out, remove quite a bit to actually get the dashboard to move because it's in one solid lump. Steering wheel can be awkward to remove, and so can the wiper arms, and this tool was for helping to remove the wiper arms. Now, this is a 2013 Defender Puma, and you probably see the rust on the bulkhead at the front there. Not very good. This is a very good indication that the spindle's actually seized. I've put a knot on here because I'll need it to turn the spindle, and I can't move it by hand, which you should be able to. Now, put a spanner on it, it will turn, and it does have a free area and it has a tight area. Not very good. Actually, the wipers stop moving. On the other side here, the driver's side, that actually turns quite nicely and it's nice and smooth. No problem. Just as a thought, because you'll see it sometimes, rust coming out of the spindle shaft. Spindle shaft there isn't actually in one piece. It should actually have a collar on it, and the new one here has a collar. Okay, and we're going to have to change this out. I'm not going to do a full tutorial how to undo every nut and bolt because this is actually at work and I'll just have to do this with a camera as quick as possible. So, wiper motor, what happens here is this cable moves backwards and forwards, and the cable itself, pulled by the motor, runs the gearing in the spindle. Okay, so technically it should be able to spin 360 degrees, no problem, but the motor limits its movement. Okay, so we will be changing this one out. Wiper motor is on the left hand side behind the dashboard, and it's connected to a tube with the spindles on. You undo this nut here, take the clamp off, and then you should be able to pull it out. Okay, it's a bit fiddly. I removed the heater ducts here so I could get to the rest of the component, but yeah, basically what you do is you pull it out of the tube like so, and then you remove, well, in this case I removed the whole lot, and I did have to move the heater ducts out of the way as well. It's quite fiddly, but it's possible to do. Now it's out, you can see the whole thing. Okay, so you have two spindles connected with tubes. This one is okay, it's a little bit rusty, however it's serviceable, but the other one over this end, I had to lubricate it to help me pull the cable from out of the tube. Okay, so yeah, we've got to change this one out. It's not a biggie. The biggest part is to actually get it out of the motor. And you can see here the heater ducts, you have to move them lower down. Different Defenders, different techniques. Puma is the hardest one. Right, so the spindle motor, you can see there, is connected to two tubes. That's where the cable will run in. So what we do basically is undo two nuts, take the backing plate off there, and then that accesses this. You can take the spindle off and then fit the new one. So you know how to do it now, don't you? If you were, for instance, doing a rebuild, make sure that these are greased up and in serviceable condition, because you don't want to be taking a dashboard off again. Okay, so you get the idea, you know how the new one will be bolted in. On the Puma, you have to make sure that you get the end part underneath the bracket there. You can see that. It's a little bit fiddly, but it goes in. Do not bend the tube. So fitting is the same as removing, just the opposite way around. Push the cable in, it will go in. You might have to jiggle it a bit to get it in, but it will. And then do the nut back up again and then clamp it to the bulkhead. Okay, so there's the nut. You also have a cover that goes over it afterwards, and you can see that fitted there. Okay, it says a line here. Basically what that means is you need to have the clamp where the marker is on the motor, and don't forget the rubber backing as well. Really, really important. For you of those who are rather observant, yes, it has got a Ford badge on my toolbox. This is only a temporary toolbox. I'm using this while I'm doing something to my larger one. However, the Pumas nowadays have more FOMO parts in it than you would actually believe, so it is more Ford leaning than just a Land Rover these days.